What's good, y'all? It's your boy KCB. We're back at it. We got another one. As we get closer to Halloween here, I've been making all kinds of like dark beats, especially on that like real kind of gritty, like that Ronnie J, XXX Tentacion Ski Mask vibe. I did a tutorial for XXX Tentacion. It was been a while ago, but I dropped a beat that is kind of in that style with ski mask, and so I wanted to call this one a ski mask tutorial here because I can definitely hear the Slump God on this one. It's kind of like a breakdown of a beat I just dropped on there, but I wanted to show y'all how to get just that nice crazy distorted 808 and just kind of that style. I love that style. It's just such a hard type of a beat. So as we get closer to Halloween, what better than that? So we're gonna go ahead and do this kind of breakdown / tutorial on this ski mask beat. So let's get it. Alright, y'all, so on a beat like this, we of course want those crazy dark vibes, and you got to use a lot of different sounds to kind of match that. And so the way I start out with these type of beats is the melodies that you're going to make, they're not going to be super complicated. They're going to be pretty easy, but it's all about the sound selection that I always talk about. I mean, that's like one of the biggest things. As you produce more and more, you kind of realize like what certain sounds match the type of vibe you're going for. And so for this one, this is a synth shot I've used probably quite a few. I think I've used it on at least one or two other tutorials I've made for you, because this is like the perfect sound that I look for in a beat like this. It's kind of that, X, ski mask, comethazine, kind of, in that vibe, just like some dark, some murder music, and so I like to use that. So we're starting off on this. So I did like C minor, Phrygian scale. I wanted this one to be a little bit faster, so we did the 158 BPM on this one today. And so with this, I wanted to start out with something really simple and add like one other little melody to that kind of that same vibe. So this one here is kind of like, and this sounds kind of like a it's almost like a pad kind of, so it'll kind of go in and then out, and like that's great for these type of vibes. You can of course use something that kind of starts like the attack's different, but you can even stretch the attack out, because I like how it kind of fades into it and then the next note hits and kind of goes on. So this is kind of what we start with on this. We just see that perfect dark kind of eerie vibe. It almost has like a little distortion to it already as well. So that's why I started with. So super simple. Then we got our key, because on beats like this you can have one or two little things, and then there's the drums and different effects are really gonna fill out the rest of the beat to where like ski mask can just go crazy on it. And so for the next one, I just want to add like really, I've talked about this before, but like a high-pitched key. If you take like a piano and you put it up a couple octaves, it kind of gives that like creepy vibe to it as well. So I kind of want to have just like 4-note pattern here. I mix it up at the end though, so we go C, C sharp, C, D sharp, repeat that, and then back to C, C sharp, C sharp, C, C, D sharp, C sharp, C. And so that way, you mix it up a little bit. It's not going to be, you're going to kind of add just kind of a little different bouncer vibe to it as well. So, but once again though, real simple here, just 4-note melodies. We did that, we adjust the velocity on it like we like to do. So we just got this with it. With this piano, you can hear it has that high pitch, and you can almost hear like someone's hitting the keys, and I put reverb on it too. So that's going to kind of add to that dark kind of eerie vibe we got. And so the biggest thing I would say on these beats is, so with the drums you make, or the drums that you pick, I like to pick hats that aren't like the most typical hat. I like to have it almost kind of sound like, these are called halftime hats, and they're called that because they pretty much are like a halftime hat, where it actually sounds like it's a lot like it's a lot lower of a note than like just C, or you can of course take a hat and kind of adjust it, put it down at least a couple notes there, but so this one sounds like this. So it already kind of has that lower note feel, and that's going to add to it. We don't want to use just regular hi-hats for a beat like this. So I went ahead, picked that hat out, and then we got another hat, another hi-hat, um, a halftime hat that's just lower. So we're just adding to it and just. But for these type of beats, like that kind of lower sounding hat is great than like the really kind of high pitched, hats. And so I want to use those two. This, we just got just a pretty typical. I like to use just a snare on these beats here. So we just got, which still kind of has that, like a lot of these sounds that you're going to use, kind of the lower sound they have, like the better for it. And so the biggest thing, and then I think the open hat I took too is also kind of, yeah, like it's just all about the sound selection with these type of beats, and the biggest thing we're going to talk about here, I want to talk to y'all about, which we kind of covered in the X tutorial, but this one I like really, the whole point of this beat, I wanted a 808 that it's kind of like, like X is sipping on tea or like that. Just it's from Ronnie J, that Ronnie J 808 that just goes so crazy, And so the big thing, I wanted to get the distortion perfect on it. So what I did was I took, let's see here. So I took this 808 here. It's called the Underworld, which I'll usually take, like I took a 808 here that has a real deep bassy sound to it. It's not as high pitched as some of the like other trap beat 808s you might use, so it's not like this. So there's just a nice bassy feel to it. And so what I did was I EQ'd it. I cut the very lows off. We usually leave it in the real bassy area. If that goes too high, it's gonna kind of sound muddled. But what I do with this is, so when I add the distortion, I'll actually EQ it like around the low mid to mid here. I'll turn it up because that's gonna only increase that distortion sound, and it's gonna kind of add to it. And so besides that, I use Blood Overdrive on mine. I'll usually use the boost on Blood Overdrive. It just helps your 808 hit harder. And then I used the Fruity Fast Distortion. This is the heat. You can just go to the heat one. I adjust the post and the mix a little bit to where it blends a little bit more, because you can have it just hit to where it's like straight distortion, but I still want part of that 808, the deep sounding part of it. So I kind of mix it. I blend it in a little bit. And so let's see. And then usually if I got a kick, you can add a limiter to it, of course, if you want. And so with this one, so the other thing I want to do is just have, just not just the same note. I want to at least have have some variety to the notes within our scale. And so with this one, we got to go in, C sharp, C, D sharp, C sharp, up higher. I like to kind of go like lower notes, then higher notes in the end, back to the lower notes, and then on the end, I didn't really mix it up too much on this one. You can go higher even than that if you want, but we'll see what we're talking about. So with that distortion and the EQ and the Blood Overdrive on it, this is how that 808 sounded. So hard right there, I mean, something like that, because this, when you play it on your phone, this is going to go through your speaker too. This is going to be loud even on your speaker, because we have the distortion and we boosted that low mid area, which is going to be a higher frequency sound. So you can see, so if I turn this off, see, it's lower, it's a lower frequency than we want. So we want the higher. So I boost the mid on it. That's going to be a huge difference with your distorted 808. So that's the biggest part there. We got everything else. Last thing I got to add, of course, is I got this this little plugin here from Reflect Audio, free plugin here, and this just has a bunch of like creepy sounds. Got like creepy doors and like a slasher sound and like pretty much sounds you'd almost hear in like a horror movie. You can hit up Reflect Audio. That's a free plugin from them, but it has a yell. And so I just wanted to oh fuck, excuse me, take this yell and just add this to it, because these effects, these like creepy screams and yells, all that only adds to the beat. So you seeing how it's spooky season, you know, we're getting there. So I figured, hey, let's add that in there. So we got all that together. Structured this one a little bit different. I wanted to go just the hats and the synth sound going into the full beat, but leaving the keys out. And then we go into 2 8-bar sets with the keys, and I like to cut out, just have that synth and the hats again, go back into it with just the key, and the 808 picks up, and then we go back into the full beat again. So, you know, arranged a little differently there because I wanted to build up with that 808 and then drop off, have the keys come in to build to that mood, and then go back in. So we got all that. So that's how I'll make a dope beat for Ski Mask, because yeah, this definitely, you know, even though I made this kind of X vibes, Ronnie J vibes, this is definitely a Ski Mask vibe beat too. This is that old, just gritty, just anger, just, you know, just I love these beats right here. So yeah, man, we got everything all together there. So let's go ahead and listen to this beat. If you didn't hear the one I dropped the other day, this is it, man. This is one of my favorite hard, you know, Ronnie J Ski Mask types. So let's get it.
Kyle, cook this beat.
Breakdown for that beat and how I would make a beat for Ski Mask. And so yeah, I hope y'all liked it. I hope y'all learned a little bit of something. You know, other than that, I've just had a bunch of stuff I've been kind of working through and going on. So we're gonna keep with the videos again next week. I'll have something, you know, new, real different for y'all. So try to at least put something out this week, give y'all something. So you know the vibe. Hit that sub, like, comment, all that. There's gonna be more videos on the way. So until next time, y'all.